My next patron question is from Benjamin, who wanted to know about the current status of a film adaptation based on a series of children's books. What happened to the Magic Treehouse film that was being developed by Lionsgate? For those unfamiliar with Magic Treehouse, these are fantasy books written by Mary Pope Osborne. They mostly involve the characters traveling through time. I have to admit I had never heard of these books until I got this question, so this is all new information to me. This is surprising since these started being published in 1992 and are still going on to this day. I did not even recognize the book covers when I searched for them. Children's literature does interest me, but for whatever reason, these never showed up on my radar. The concept is certainly fascinating, and the fact that Osborne continues to write them and at such an incredible pace is amazing. Reading the plot descriptions, the ideas seem like they could make for fun adventures, although there are also books where the leads, Jack and Annie, wound up in notable historical disasters and tragedies. There's one where they arrive at Pompeii, and another where they're on the Titanic. I'm surprised these were not adapted into an animated series back in the day, with a studio like Nelvana picking up the rights. This would have fit well with their other adaptations, like The Magic School Bus and Redwall. There have been stage adaptations, though, and also a Japanese animated film that was released in 2011. From what I can find, though, this never got an English dub or any official North American release, which is surprising, seeing as it is based on an American series of books. You would think some distributor like G-Kids or Shout Factory or Funimation would have picked it up, but apparently not. So what happened to the film adaptation? In 2016, it was announced that Lionsgate had acquired the rights to make a movie based on the books, or specifically the 29th book, Christmas in Camelot. Lionsgate had hoped on turning this into a potential franchise, with other books being adapted in the future, if this first one proved successful. No director was attached at this point, although Mary Pope Osborne's husband, Will Osborne, and Jenny Laird were writing the script. A year later, Osborne tweeted that Lionsgate was still looking for the perfect director for the project, and showed a lot of enthusiasm for it. There were no updates following this until some months ago when somebody asked her about it on Twitter, and she replied that the movie was no longer happening, at least not Lionsgate anymore. This is not too surprising, as it can often happen when a film is in development for a very long time. Either the adaptation rights expire, or the studio loses interest, or there's an executive shuffle and the new people in charge are not interested. There are multiple reasons why. Maybe the budget was a problem. You have to remember that while Lionsgate has had multiple hit movies like The Hunger Games, Knives Out, and the John Wick franchise, they're not one of the major studios, although I think they're close to getting there. Like other studios, they were also affected by the pandemic, although I don't know if Magic Treehouse stopped being developed before or after COVID happened. Could another studio pick it up? I could see Disney Plus potentially buying the rights to make it as a streaming series. They appear interested in developing fantasy shows there, as they have upcoming series based on Willow and Percy Jackson in the works. The service will even be streaming shows from outside producers. Disney Plus is developing a show based on the Spiderwick Chronicles alongside Paramount. D Plus also picked up the new Goosebumps show being produced by Sony Television. I also don't know how hands-on Osborne wants to be on an adaptation. Authors are known for being very protective of their stories and characters, and I assume she has some stipulations of her own. Filmmakers and studios can be inconsistent in how they respect the wishes of the original author. When Chris Columbus started bringing Harry Potter to the screen, he made sure to stick with J.K. Rowling's requirements. However, on Columbus's adaptation of Percy Jackson, Rick Riordan's notes and suggestions went largely ignored. Maybe she's disagreed with ideas executives and directors have pitched her over the years. Again, I have no idea. It'll be interesting to see if film or television adaptations of the Magic Treehouse books can be made in the future, hopefully to fan satisfactions. If you're a fan of the books, let me know what you think would be the ideal way to adapt them in the comments, and thank you for your question, Benjamin.